It's not like
I
we're
would say they
police.
always, but a lot of people lie.
Anyway, I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing. You got Mary Dixon and myself, Roger Brehm.
Hi.
Yes, I said your name. You're stuck with it now. You're here for the duration.
This ought to be good.
This ought to be good. Okay, interesting things that have happened. We now know that GoDaddy is not going to be helping out Danica as much as they have been next year.
You think they're kidding about that?
No, they're not kidding. The return on investment has sucked. I mean, the only thing you hear about is Danica and Ricky Stenhouse. Junior, that is.
That's true. She doesn't really talk about websites that much, does she?
And you haven't seen that many commercials from her.
Mm-hmm. The one for the Super Bowl got cut.
Yeah.
They never even showed it.
I think the cutest one I ever saw was the one about her beaver.
I'm not sure I saw that one. Although the one for the Super Bowl involved animals.
She's getting out of the car, and she's talking about her beaver. And then as she turns out of the car, she has a beaver in her mouth. It's a double entendre.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Too bad.
Now you heard Jeff Gordon. He's going to drive in the He's going to drive the Indianapolis 500 pace car.
Right. I wonder how they got him to do that.
You want to drive a pace car? Sure. That's real hard.
It's like he'd say, "Let me drive a race car."
Nah. He might be able to afford it, but I just don't think.
But the pace car—that's very exciting.
Now, Moffitt, he's going to come back to the 34 at Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Brian Vickers.
It's musical chairs.
Is not going to be around for a while, so they're going to have. Who was they going to have at his place?
In the 55?
Yeah.
David Reagan.
Very good. See, you do something. I tricked you.
Thank you.
So.
And then Eric Jones.
And Eric Jones is going to be going to the 18. That's not supposed to be announced yet. Y'all didn't hear it here, okay? But he's going to be running in the 18.
When's Kyle coming back, though?
Kyle is...
After the baby? Maybe he's going to stay out on paternity leave.
Who knows? I mean, it's going to be a long time for him because he's not going to know about what's going on with his leg and everything. So he feels comfortable and ready to race it. I don't expect anything to happen. There's also testing at Indianapolis, I think today, or was that yesterday? Let's see here. Nope. Well, that was the 25th through the 29th, so yeah.
That would be today.
Yep. You heard Kenny Schrader won the ARCA race at Singles.
I saw that. He set a new record. Broke his old record for being the oldest person to win. I love Kenny Schrader.
He's a hoot. He's a hoot.
We don't hear enough about him lately. I miss him.
I'll tell you what.
He gets mentioned on almost every NASCAR broadcast. His name comes up at some point.
He's one of those guys that's been around and probably still will. So, by the way, Eric Jones will be making his first Cup start at Kansas.
His first official.
Yep. And Front Row Motorsports has not announced its driver lineup beyond this weekend's race at Talladega. So, we're not even into the silly season, and it is already.
It's silly.
Due to injuries.
A silly season can strike at any point.
But be the whole season long, it's really, really crazy.
Why was it, let's have some speculation on why you think Denny Hamlin really didn't come back to drive.
You mean the neck spasm thing?
Yeah.
Well, the rumor has it was cocaine again.
Really? I hadn't heard, that's not what I'm,
You didn't hear that rumor?
no.
Okay.
No,
It's a rumor.
absolutely not.
It's a rumor. That's
What I thought, it was drug related, what I thought, was that he probably had to take something for the spasms, a muscle relaxant, and then they knew he wasn't going to be able to drive for like a day.
well, they didn't even drug test him.
Well, he wasn't coming back, so they didn't need to. He wasn't going to drive. But I figured that's really how they knew hours ahead he wouldn't be able to. And why he looked so fine.
Well, I mean,
up
crew
on
members don't drive and they get drug tested. And if they test positive, guess what?
Don't you think they would be in talks with NASCAR letting him know he had to take like a muscle relaxant?
Yes, he should have.
So they would say, sure, if you gotta do it, just don't drive. But that's why
You can
I'm,
take a muscle relaxer and drive.
well, you can, but
Just make
hopefully
sure it's
not
just
NASCAR.
Just make sure it's in a little pedal push car. Or go
That's
kart.
what, I'm just surprised they didn't just say that, because it did look curious for him to be sitting on the hip box.
And it looked like he wasn't
Looking
hurting
around.
any.
But muscle relaxants do help, those things. So I figured they should have just said that he couldn't drive because he took something. But who am I to say?
Hey, what can we say? But yeah, I mean, when he had his issue with the thing in his eye too. I mean, the other rumor was for that one, cocaine.
Never heard that.
Oh, I have.
We would never say that. I didn't even hear it, so that's on you, Roger.
Cocaine.
On to other topics.
Steve Burns, of course, remembered at
Aw.
the memorial service.
Yeah.
That was on Tuesday yesterday. That was in Calvary Church in Charlotte. They had more than 500 people gathered to remember him. That was sad.
Yeah. Race Hub did some nice videos last night.
And Bristol
Yeah,
made him
too.
wait so late in the night to watch. I mean,
Aww.
tell you. Oh, let's see. What did they tell him? Oh, he gets to drive the Corvette Z06 pace car.
I knew it had to be a Chevy product or he would not be doing it.
Hey, I think if
Right?
it was a Lamborghini, he'd be out there doing it.
I think he's not allowed to drive except GM, is he? I mean, isn't that in their contract?
I don't know. I don't have privy access to his contract. Dale Jr., he's going to have a specialized paint job for the Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Wow.
That's for the Sprint All-Star race in May. There was a Earnhardt Day for DEI.
Yeah, his birthday.
April
Today,
29th,
wasn't
that
it?
was
Yeah.
today, yeah. It's held annually on his birthday and it'll become a time of reflection on the accomplishments of Dale. Share our favorite memories and stories. Oh God, don't get me started on
Me
him.
either.
I will tell you, I did call him an asshole to his face,
Oh my gosh.
and we laughed about it.
What was the circumstance
Well,
that made you say such a thing?
the thing was, we knew each other. My chassis guy, when I was running late models, also worked on Dale's chassis on his sprint car. Anyway, we'd met a couple of times and talked. But I had this really rare collectible Earnhardt item, and I was going to have him autograph it. I was down there in the track and was walking up to him. Just as he got up to me, he smiled and sidestepped me. And I said, what? To myself, I'm going, what in the hell? I turned around, there's 4 Hooters girls behind me waiting to get autographs from him. And when he got done, he turned around, looked at me, big ass smile, and I said, you're an asshole. He says, you know what? I just love it. Don't you love it? He goes, don't you love it? I
Oh
said,
dear.
Yeah. I have tons of stories on him, but it's been fun. A lot of the crew members, of course, Chocolate Myers. He's always a good guy down there at the museum and does
Yeah.
the radio stuff too. Every once in a while we get him on here too. He's fun to talk to.
I think I heard him on once.
I still remember when Dale won the Daytona 500.
I was there.
Watched him crying. And when Kevin Harvick won his third race.
I remember that
Cup.
picture of chocolate, the tears just running down his face.
He's a blubber boy.
But getting to see him win the 500 was one of my best racing moments. That was great.
And the Talladega race, it's 45 teams going for 43 spots. Bobby Labonte's going out there in the 32 car, Brian Scott in the 33, Chris Buescher in the 34, Michael Waltrip in the 55, the 95 McDowell, and number 21 for Blaney. Drivers who need to be in the top 36 in speed have no provisionals available to them. Lowest in owner points, Brendan Gaughan, who's 46, and Blaney, who's 45th. Drivers who would miss the race if qualifying is canceled, McDowell and Blaney.
Oh, Brian Blaney can make it in. I like him.
Sure it's Ryan Blaney? Just not David Blaney? Dave
Pardon? Dave?
Yeah.
Dave?
Who
You mean
knows?
his father?
I'd have to look and see. It's somebody from New Jersey. I tell you, I get all these crank calls from New Jersey. Hey, how's it going? Let's talk racing.
Hi, how are you, Roger?
Doing good. Are we having fun tonight yet?
How's everything?
Good. Did you hear my little intro when I saw it was from New Jersey?
You get a lot of prank calls from New Jersey.
I truthfully, during the daytime, I get all these calls that come in. I'm with Google and I would like to help you get your websites in better position on the internet. This is what we have to offer. Please stand by for the next available consultant. Click.
You're live on the air, by the way.
We're always live. We're always live. We're always live.
In case you
All right.
Hey, do me a favor, so some of the people get to learn a little bit about you. Give us a little short bio about yourself, what got you into racing, when you started, what you've done,
Sure.
what you're
Why don't
hoping to
you
do.
tell us
Sure. I started
yeah.
racing really back in 2007. Actually, that's when I attended a racing school out in Arizona, the Bondurant School. And a buddy of mine and I had purchased some pretty fast street cars and didn't want to tangle with the police too much. Figured we'd tangle with each other door to door, and went out there for the 4-day school, and just got addicted to road racing. And came out of there with an SCCA regional license, and didn't quite put it to use right away. Did a little bit more practicing, and then 2012 was my first year actually doing door-to-door racing with NASA in the Northeast region primarily.
Now, what does NASA stand for? Because a lot of people around our area know NASA as the National Association of
Air and Space, yeah.
Yeah, Air and Space.
National Autosport Association. They are basically, very similar to SCCA, just a different organization that popped up. And they have regions all over the country, from East Coast to West Coast. And it's a very well-run organization, and our organization here in the Northeast is run by a gentleman named Joe Casella, a really nice guy. He and his wife Sue do a wonderful job administrating NASA Northeast, and have a wonderful, wonderful program out here for us Northeasterners.
Cool. So, by the way, I meant to ask you before we actually got into this, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's easy. Just it's called what do you say? It's Plemenos, just the way it's spelled.
Good. I wasn't wrong then.
Yeah, it's Greek, which throws a little, most folks for a loop.
Hey, whatever works.
So it's Paul.
Whatever works. That's right.
It is what it is, as a friend of mine always says. Now,
Yes.
what's your aspect for moving up, or your aspirations for getting further up? What were some of the things you're thinking about doing?
Well, doing the road course racing, the next logical step for us would be to go and drive the World Challenge Series, or the Continental Series. It requires a big budget, and while I have some great sponsors right now, I would have to get a little bit more commitment from them because, as I'm sure you are aware, the way you make a small fortune in racing is you start out with a big one.
Yeah, if you want to make $1 million, start out with 10.
Yeah. So it is an expensive sport, and we're doing things the right way, I think, in terms of taking our time and kind of figuring out exactly what it is that we need to do to be smart, be economical, but yet put out a great product, not only in terms of the car, but we have an unbelievable team behind us. The Wii Racing team is just an unbelievable collection of guys. Couldn't ask for any better.
Cool. Now, have you ever given a thought, now I'm going to shift you off of your series, to becoming one of those guys that everybody likes to go after when it comes time for NASCAR to race a road course? They're looking for somebody that's extremely talented.
I'd love it. Absolutely. I mean, last week I mentioned to you to say hello to my buddy Kaz Gralla, who is an exceptional road course driver. I would have aspirations to do that, no doubt. I mean, if someone ever came knocking on my door and said, "Hey, would you run, the Glen with the K&N team, or would you run VIR with the K&N team?" I would jump at the chance to do that. Absolutely.
And didn't y'all just do a Devil in the Night or something like that? Devil in the Dark, rather?
Yeah, the SCCA runs 2 big endurance races during the course of the year, a 12-hour. Which we just had. It's called the Devil in the Dark. And we ran that at New Jersey Motor Park on the Thunderbolt circuit, and we won it. And proud to say that Kaz Gralla was one of our teammates, one of my co-drivers.
Cool. By the way, I do have a question from one of our viewers. It said something to explain to our listeners about how N=8 supergravity helped to win this weekend's race.
N=8 supergravity always helps to win every race. And I'm sure that whoever it was that sent that in is extremely knowledgeable about N=8 supergravity. That's,
Do you want to explain that to us?
I'm sorry?
Can you explain that to us?
N=8 supergravity. Are you guys familiar with the physicist Stephen Hawking?
Yes.
Well, Stephen Hawking has a theory that I don't understand, and nobody really other than Stephen Hawking probably understands.
That's about right.
That all boils down to this N=8 supergravity. And we were down in Myrtle Beach for the Myrtle 400 with Kaz Gralla and his mom and dad, and I stumbled across this N=8 supergravity because the movie Interstellar had just come out, and we were all talking about how mind-blowing it was and how it was based upon the actual physics behind Stephen Hawking's book. And N=8 supergravity just seemed to be one of those things that gave us all a bit of a giggle because, if you actually go in and read the definition, you don't even understand half the words that are in the definition. So, but we employed the N=8 supergravity certainly this past weekend in helping us win the Devil in the Dark.
Cool. Yeah,
bit of an inside joke.
Yep. By the way, the person that sent that in was Kaz.
Yeah, I figured as much. I'll get him back later.
Oh, good. Well, hey, next time I have Kaz on here, I'll give you a shout and give me some good stuff to get on him.
You got it, no problem.
But don't tell him that. Unfortunately, he may be watching this. So.
Yeah, he may be.
But what'd you think of the Interstellar movie?
I thought it was awesome, and my kids saw it twice, and they thought it was awesome. I just think that it's hard to possibly conceive that stuff is actually real. I mean, it's astonishing to me. The part that really kind of freaked me out a little bit is when they're on on the planet, and the guy who's left in orbit was there for 32 years or something like that, and they were down on the planet for 8 minutes or something.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it's just mind blowing that
Yeah.
actually.
I've actually run across some of that stuff. Unfortunately, I'm sort of an egghead geeky type person. There was another one that a science fiction thing where they were talking about gravity and things like that. Oh shoot!
The movie Contact, back a few years.
Contact was something that dealt with
that.
that.
Another,
Contact was cool with Jodie Foster. Yeah, that was a cool.
Yeah.
That was a cool movie. Yeah.
that was dedicated to, who is the astrophysicist? Anyway, it was based on his book, I think. Can't think of who it is now.
Oh shoot! There's
You know who I mean.
yeah, but the show I'm thinking about was one of the ones with Jack O'Neill and gotta watch the damn show whenever I can. You got?
Yeah, I'm at a loss.
Oh, come on, this is sci-fi time here. We're bombing here.
I'm not a sci-fi person, so.
But anyway, it had. In a minute it'll kick me and I'll jump right in the middle of a conversation and throw it out there.
Yeah.
But anywho,
We had a terrific race. With NASA, we had our first round of races 2 weeks ago, and we took first place in both of those races of round one. So we're sitting on top of the leaderboard in our class now. It's ST2, and with the Miata, which is our endurance car, the last 4 races that car's entered, we won. So, and we've done a pretty cool places. We won an endurance race at Watkins Glen, and now at New Jersey Motor Park. So, we've got some great momentum here. Racing is we're firing on all cylinders here.
cool. Oh, trying to figure this out.
I had a quick question about sponsorship.
Stargate. Stargate. That's what it was.
She's been thinking about that.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, they had a time when they had some thing called the replicator, and they had to take them close to this really dense sun, and once they got there, the time progressed really slow for them, but yet outside of the sphere of influence, it went regular time, just same thing as it was happening interstellar.
Yeah.
Okay, we got that straight. What was the other question?
Your day job is on Wall Street, is that right?
I work, I'm a money manager, and work for Merrill Lynch.
Mm-hmm. I was just curious if some of the big companies you come in contact with your day job, has that helped you at all with finding sponsorship for?
No, in fact, we're really not allowed to solicit, clients and things like that for sponsorship. If they seek us out, or we have we can offer a symbiotic relationship, but it doesn't. They can't pay me directly. They have to go through, the racing company. So it makes it a little bit more difficult in some senses. So you
have to be careful.
I think that would be an advantage. Yeah, but there could be construed as a conflict of interest. So you really have to be very, very careful when you're dealing with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that all being said, I have some unbelievably great sponsors that have been great to me, and we're working very hard not only to have them work with me, but also to break into the NASCAR scene as well.
Who are some of the sponsors that you work the most with?
My primary sponsor is a company called Argotech. They're called Argotech, and their primary product is a urethane film and sheet, which all those pretty graphics that we have on the Corvette and the Miata are the urethane film. And most race cars are wrapped in a vinyl. The urethane is a product that is actually lighter, stronger, and more resilient than the vinyl wraps. And we are trying now very strongly to get that into NASCAR. In fact, the Ben Kennedy race team is using those wraps as well on the T-Close number 3 car.
That Corvette is beautiful with the flag.
Thank you.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, thanks.
We were looking at that earlier with the flag.
Sweet.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. It gets a
Does
lot
that
of
show
attention,
on the
and she photographs very, very well, doesn't she?
Yes, it does.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, for those of y'all that are trying to see what we're talking about, just find Paul on Facebook. And
Plemenos. And take
Correct.
a look
Yeah,
at
they
that
can go to that.
Corvette.
They can go to on Facebook. We have We Racing on
Yeah.
Facebook. We have We Racing on Instagram, and we're at We Racing on Twitter. And if you go to any of those, you'll see plenty of photographs, not only of the Corvette but also of the Miata. And again, you know, all those wraps are, you know, the urethane film
From Argotech.
offered by Argotech. Yeah, yeah. They're
Gorgeous.
located up in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Yeah.
And you'll sometimes see this Greek-looking guy too.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see that guy.
That's
Yeah.
a good picture
But
too.
I have some other great sponsors. Mantic Clutch is the guys who provide me with my clutch. They're great. They're based in Australia. Sebring Automotive does all the work on my car. They're absolutely great mechanics. They, you know, save me more times than I can count in terms of, you know, diagnosing an issue at the track and getting me back on so we can stay competitive. You know, so American Coach Works does all the work on my coach, getting me to and from the track. MPT Industries are an oil, MPT oil. It's by far the best oil we've ever used to, you know, hold up, you know, through the incredible stresses and strain of a 12-hour endurance race. No breakdown. It's unbelievable. So, you know, we're very, very blessed to have a lot of these great partners, and without them, honestly, we couldn't do it. You know, Hoosier, Hawkpad, Racing Brake, all these people have really come to help us tremendously.
Cool. So where's your next race going to be at?
Next race is actually back down at New Jersey Motor Park on the Thunderbolt circuit for NASA. We our first round one was on the Lightning circuit, and this one is on the Thunderbolt circuit. And then we head to Lime Rock after that, and we'll be at VIR this year, down by your way a little bit more.
Yeah. Let me know when you're coming down this way. Maybe some of us can break loose and go down there and visit with you.
Oh, that'd be tremendous. Yeah, we're actually going to be at VIR twice this year. The Northeast Championships will be there. And then we are going to do the 13-hour Charge of the Headlight Brigade with CCA, where that Miata will resurface, and we'll have our team of 15 guys, 10 crew and 5 drivers coming down there to try to sweep the long enduros from CCF.
Huh, cool.
Yeah, so it'll be great. We'd love to have you as our guest down there.
Yeah, I think we'd have some fun. I keep
I
meaning...
think so.
Huh?
I said I think we would.
Hell yeah. Yeah, let me get a few laps in that Corvette. I'll have some fun. Out here, I used to run late models down here at Langley Speedway, and
Okay.
for the longest time, we tried to toy with the city, me and a few other guys, to try to get them to set up a road course late model race one time. Just to see what it would draw.
Well, you know, they had one last year, right before the K&N East race at VIR. There was a late model race. I don't
Huh,
know if you knew.
not it
Yeah,
in.
they did. They ran a late model race at VIR.
Huh.
And Chaz's dad, Darius, and I were joking because the participation was very limited. I think there were 5 guys in it. We were kidding that we could have started the race and got the top 10 off the bat.
Yeah. That always works. And if somebody broke down, you'd have gotten the top 5, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We could have caused a wreck and at least let one of us get top 5.
Yeah.
But but I don't know if you knew that, so you may want to check that out. When K&N goes to VIR,
Yeah, I'll have to check with a friend of mine that I know that runs late models. His name's Mark Wertz. He's going to be popping on here in just a minute when we get finished with you, and I'll have to check with him if he knew about the late model races they have down in VIR.
Yeah. I don't know if this was the first year or what it was, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, go ahead and give another quick shout out to your sponsors, Paul, and we'll go ahead and let you get out of here, and then we'll get on here with Mark.
Sure. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much to Argotech. They are by far biggest sponsor and supporter, and their product really is second to none. And if you have a race car that you want wrapped, you really need to get in touch with these guys. And what you can do is you can reach out to me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I'll get you in touch with the right people. But Argotech's urethane filament sheet is an unbelievable product. Plus, it's lighter than the vinyl you're running, so you get to lower your center of gravity if you're running a mandatory weight. Sebring Automotive, unbelievable partners. Thank you so much. MPT Oil Industries, thank you. American Coach Works, Racing Brake, Hawk Pads, and everybody else out there. Really, really appreciate all the help and support that you guys give. Without it, we couldn't do it. And a big shout out to my co-drivers from this last race, Rick Goriev, Pete McIntosh, Gary Estrella, and of course the young N=8 supergravity Chad Estrella. and all my crew guys, Craig, Jason, David, my cousin Mike, Pat, Scott. Without them, we don't get to the track and run and be successful. So I really appreciate you having me on, Rod. I can't thank you enough. I know it's out of the norm to get a road racing guy on here, much less a Greek guy, much less a Northeastern guy.
I would get some Northeastern guys, but the Greek part, that was a different one.
Yeah, you stretched it a little bit there. So Thank you very much. Look forward to getting back on here again sometime when you need to talk about road racing.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks again
so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Hey, Mark.
What's going on?
We're talking road racing. Yeah, did you know VIR had a late model road racing?
Yeah, they've had it for a couple of years now. I know a couple of guys that maintain cars for people that race out there, and seems to be fairly popular. They seem to get a fairly good draw on that series of late model stock cars, but they're just not NASCAR sanctioned.
Yeah, I know that. I was telling him a while back when I was still running late model, me and a few of the guys were trying to convince Hampton to let us configure some sort of road course to run through the streets and try to see what that would do.
That would be different.
That it would. Be fun turning it right every once in a while. Anyway, we got Mark Wertz on the line with us right now. Races out at Langley Speedway in the late model series. Has won a championship or two floating around that track. How many championships you got there now?
3 at Langley, 1 at Southampton.
There you go. And how many more to go? Another 50?
As many as I can get. They're getting harder now the older we get. The competition in Langley is just unbelievable. And, just to run in the top 5 is an accomplishment.
Yeah. Hey, what'd you think of the Denny Hamlin race?
The rather eventful race. It was run pretty well. The long 3 days at South Boston Motor Speedway. I can tell you when we got out of tech and put the car back in the trailer, it was a joy to hit the road and head home.
You finished in one piece though, right? Yeah, I think you got third, didn't you?
Yeah, we ended up third. With a little luck, and we had to kind of be smart how we raced. We had to be aggressive, but we had to be patient at the same time. And the goal was to move forward, keep the nose on the car, and make the best of what we could get. And fortunately, we raced ourselves into a position where we were able to capitalize on some others' mistakes, and we ended up third.
Now, did you? How close were you to Lee when they had their little incident there on that last lap? Pull in.
On that green white checker, we started 8th. and we only made one lap, so we were all bunched together there pretty quick. Pretty tight. And, I think when I did my ducking and weave and getting through that little incident there, we were given the wheel chill cool move of the race award, and I think that was probably the move that got it for us.
There you go. Now, give everybody a little bit of bio about yourself, in case we got some people out there who don't know anything about you, so that they know where your grassroots were and what you've done so far and what your aspirations are for going on further.
I started, ran my first race at Langley in 1987. I've pretty much run every car, every division they've had to offer over the years, and had a lot of help along the way. Pearce Truck and Body Shop, Bill Diggs, my family, my crew. Raced Dixon, Southampton, Saluda, and Langley all at the same time throughout the mid-90s. We were able to start focusing on asphalt, and then in 97 I won a limited stock championship in Southampton. We came to Langley full-time the following year, finished second in the points in 98, 99, and then in 2001 we won the Grand Stock title, finished second in the Mid-Atlantic Point Series for NASCAR. Went back on the road, ran the Modified Touring Series in 2002, and then came back to Langley in 03, and we won the track title in 2003, 2004, and also won the NASCAR Southeastern Region Championship. And then 2003, Denny Hamlin and Timothy Peters finished second and third, respectively, to me that year. That was a kind of a special moment.
Cool.
Go ahead.
I said cool. Go ahead, keep kicking.
We were, we at the time, the wheels were rolling, and we were trying to make something happen, and reality set in, and I was starting to be a little bit on the wrong side of the age bar for the upper series, so, we were thinking that, we just focus and run late model as long as we could and enjoy it, and race as long as we could be competitive and have good sponsorship and a team that gelled well together. And so far, we've been able to manage to keep that going. Got a great car with Ronald Raymond Robinson. Our team and I have been together for 13, 14 years now, and got great sponsors with Dunkin' Donuts and Taylor Waste and Old School Video Games and more. And we're very blessed, and we'll just keep playing along as long as we can until the gas burns out of the torch and the flame goes out.
Yeah. Now I know I've joked with you before about this. Whenever you and Greg Galding get together, we call it the Donut War. For like the heat race.
Right now, I'm up 1-0, so I guess this next Hampton Heat will be a rematch for whoever wants to call it that. But our main goal is not going to be on the other cars, to be on trying to get that checker flag and that $10,000 check.
You know how it is. It's like anything. You got to create some controversy somewhere.
Yeah, it's part of the game. It's part of the sport. It's all in fun, and I think it puts a little bit of fun in the grandstands for the fans too. So it's what we do, and it's what's got to happen to keep the interest in the sport. And the grand scheme of things, it doesn't all. None of it really matters once the green flag drops.
Now here's something that this is something Bill Mullis would probably like. Have Dunkin' Donuts and then also have Krispy Kreme come out there with 2 trucks, and the fans vote which one's the favorite at the track by how much donuts are consumed.
I thought you said you have the trucks race.
No, I'm not gonna have the trucks race. Yeah, we'll put Gray in one and
That's what I
Mark
thought
in the
you
other.
were about to say.
Well, the funny thing about the whole thing is a lot of people don't even really understand the dynamics of the two. Actually, believe it or not, Krispy Kreme is not a rival to Dunkin' Donuts. They are another donut shop, correct. But Dunkin' Donuts' pride and joy is in their donut, but it's in their coffee more than anything. And they Actually, they look at Wawa, McDonald's, and 7-Eleven, and places like that. Starbucks is more of their who their target is to outperform. And the donut comes along with it naturally, but they also have great flatbread sandwiches and good lunches. It's really more to Dunkin' Donuts than just a cakey type donut.
Dunkin' Donuts has coffee?
So
My
that's the
goodness.
world.
What's this world coming to, Mark?
Some of the best in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
They give you everything Starbucks can, but a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. I was joking with you. I already knew all that stuff. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
You were mentioning an old friend, Bill Diggs. How's he been? I haven't heard from him. Is he still coming out there with you?
Bill is he's a anchor in our team. He says that I asked him all the time. I said, "How do you keep going at 75?" And he said, "Well, if I stop, I'll harden up." He said, "You keep me healthy." So I guess working on the race car is like going to the gym for him, and he's reliable. I mean, we get up and leave 4 o'clock in the morning to head on the road to go racing, or we got to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He's there. I can always count on him.
Cool. Well, next time you see him, tell him I said hi and I'm thinking of him. Whether he's 75 or 55, just tell him keep kicking.
He's a blessing of our team, that's for sure.
Where's the next place you're going to be racing at?
Well, we're actually going to take this weekend off. We've been going hard since the second week of March, and we just want to regroup a little bit after the South Boston race. We've got a couple things we want to do to our Langley car and focus on some testing and try to be ready to try to give that Eagle 97 car a run for its money on May 9th.
Right, so the late models are off this weekend anyway at Langley?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, do you have you been going out to South Boston or planning to any this year, other than the Denny Hamlin race you already ran?
Yeah, we raced 3 times before already. We've been to all their late model races but one, and we've tested there twice. We're planning to go back for the July 3rd 10,000 to win late model race at South Boston. But I think between now and then we're going to focus on Langley. We got a pretty good package going there that needs a little adjusting, and I think we have a good enough car to be a contender this year.
Cool. So you don't think with all your skills and knowledge that you won't be able to tap on somebody's shoulder one day in the near future and say, "Hey, why don't you give me a shot out there in a truck, or even an ARCA car or something like that"?
Well, I mean, the reality of it is, I think I can do it, absolutely, and I think I can do it and be competitive in the right car. It's just the fact that nowadays the racing has gotten to where it doesn't matter altogether how great you are or how good you are. It matters how much of the bank you can make a withdrawal and bring to the team with. And I'd love to drive an Xfinity car once, or a K&N car or a truck or even an ARCA car. It's just if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's not going to bring a sweat off my back. I have great children I spend time with, and I've kind of been fortunate in the sport to be around as long as I have. A lot of people come and go, and this is my 28th season, and we've won 4 championships and finished second in the points many times, and got plenty of wins, and so I have no regrets or no losses. I want more, and I still got the fire to win more. It's just if nothing further other than a late model stock car coming along, I'll be happy.
All right, here's a good question for you. How many laps do you think you've put in so far in your racing career?
At Langley?
Everywhere. Racing career, not just Langley.
Wow.
Is that not a mind-blowing thought just to think about that?
It honestly, counting testing and fact, full race, and I'd have to guess.
You're gonna pull out a calculator and a long.
It's a headache. It's a math problem to give you a headache. It's well over 500,000. I know.
Well, Langley does 26 races, and they're usually 100 laps apiece. There's 2,600 per year.
Right, and then you count probably another 1,000 in practice.
Yep.
So that's 3,600 a year just at Langley. And then, one time throughout the mid-'90s, I was racing Dixon on Friday night, Langley or Southampton on Saturday night, and then Saluda on Sunday. So, I'll tell you, and then the 200-lap Martinsville races and the 200-lap Myrtle Beach races, and it's I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I'd like to have $1 for every lap, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah, that would be good. You could buy a new house. Do you ever want to see Langley put another big race in there? Because they used to have, back in the day, a 400-lapper. And I think, actually, the Hampton Pontiac, I think, or Pontiac itself, used to sponsor that and put that in Langley. I remember that being out there.
I think it'd be awesome. I mean, I remember 300 and 400 lap races at the track, and with pit stops and stuff like that. But it would be awesome to do. I definitely wouldn't want to do it unless they had a full field of cars. To do it with 17 or 18 cars would be boring for the fans. It'd be awesome to see with 34 to 36 cars. And I think it would be a neat race because there would be a lot of chess match going on, especially if you limited the number of tires that the team was allowed.
Yeah.
Who's going to put on 2 on the first pit stop, or who's going to put on 4 and try to get a distance, stuff like that. But I think it would be neat. It's just a matter of could they get it done and get the cars there. And I think they could if they marketed it well enough and had enough backing to make it enticing for other teams to come from out of town.
Okay. Go ahead, what was your question?
Is that allowed to be talked about?
Yeah.
What have you heard about the Denny Hamlin Foundation race being at Langley next year? You heard anything like that?
Is it, you going to give us the unofficial or the official?
I'd rather not comment on that. I think, other than I think there's some talk about it. And I think the talk has been pretty strong. It's just a matter of can they make it happen. A lot of parties got to come together and agree on a lot of stuff. Feasibly, it's probably very economical for all parties involved, even the Cup drivers getting here from Richmond. And the facility laid out a little different. I'm not going to say it's better. It's laid out a little different. They put a little bit pizzazz or spark back in it, being in a different location. So I think it can happen. It's just, I think there's a whole lot more discussing and talk that has to go on for it to happen.
Yeah, I've talked with some of the people up in that too, and there is a consensus to possibly try to take it to all the different tracks in Virginia eventually.
Right.
So,
They just got to keep it, within a certain mile radius of Richmond International so that the drivers can get to and from with no...
well, they'll just fly their helicopters.
That's right.
I mean, geez, I don't know how many times I go out to Saluda and they're having, like Tony or Kenny Schrader or Kenny Wallace coming out there to race on dirt. And they're just flying by helicopter from Richmond or wherever they're at and then just have fun there.
Well, they do what they got to do, and they have a life too, and I think the fact that they can get away and come race with those guys is still pretty cool, and just lets all of us know that they enjoy it, getting away from the big series as well, because they're definitely not getting paid to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all for a good cause for the Denny Hamlin Foundation, and the fans love a good race. You know that yourself. Even if you were sitting in the stands, you'd love watching a good race.
Oh yeah, the first airing of it will be tomorrow night at 10:30 on NBCSN, and I think it'll be pretty cool to watch the 55 car go from 36 to third.
Yeah, that's right. You did start in the back.
Started shotgun on the field. We were very fortunate, and we had a decent car. We just got tied up in a mess in the heat race and had to start back.
Now you said that's supposed to be tomorrow night?
It's going to show from 10:30 to 11:30 tomorrow night, and then it's going to show again Friday night at 12 o'clock, I believe.
Hot damn, we get to watch it twice.
Yep. It's on NBCSN, their sports network.
That means the second race I can root for you just as hard as the first race to see if I can get you up to first, right?
Yeah, I wish we could make it happen. About a $5,000 change in the paycheck. That was,
so I mean, what do you like how the South Boston track races?
as far as how they run their show, or
just the track itself? Just the track itself. What do you think about the track?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I love it. It's a track you can get real aggressive with. It reminds me a lot of Kenley a little bit. It's a mix between Kenley and Southampton, but I like how you can attack the corners and just drive the car. I mean, it's not, Langley is a totally different animal. It's more of a momentum track and a patience track, where at South Boston you're getting it done every single lap. There's no riding around. When the rag waves, it's full on.
Now, do you still go out, or are planning to go ahead and hit the Martinsville late model race at the end of the year?
We haven't been the last couple of years. It's still, I don't know what the right answer here is. It's that I like the race. I like to be in the race. I don't like everything it takes to be there and go through all the motions. It's just a long weekend, and it usually ends up being it's almost like it's the last race of the season to guarantee all the chassis builders a winner's worth of work. It's just a rough race. You almost have to not care about the car you're taking there. If you get away from it in one piece, and you did good. If you don't, well. It's just a rougher.
Yeah, Greg told me his car owner said, "No, we ain't going to go out to the Denny Hamlin race. It could be a crash fest." And what? I think Buck told me like 14 cars basically went home in boxes.
Yeah, it's something else. But anyway,
so what's the rest of Mark Wertz's life got going for him this week, this month?
This week, getting the car ready, trying to get to the track and test. A little bit of garden work to get done, a little bit of yard work to catch up on. Spent some time with my daughter, and been away from the home just about every night of the week for the last 3 or 4 weeks, so I've got to play a little catch up.
How old is she now?
She is 11.
What does she think about you doing all your racing now?
She is my #1 fan. She is absolutely ecstatic about it, and she tells all her friends if it's a race weekend, she's not doing nothing but going to racetrack. So it's cool. It's kind of neat.
That's nice.
I had her on the hood of my race car in Victory Lane in 2004 at 3 weeks old. And she's been coming to the racetrack since she was in her mama's belly. So it's pretty neat. Even though I'm away doing my thing, she's there with me.
Does she bring her friends? Do they like racing too?
She's got a group of friends that she's made at the racetrack. She's had a couple friends that come, but I think some of her friends don't quite understand it yet. And she likes to just hang out with the little clique of kids that run around the racetrack.
Oh. You're at that point in your life. You ever think about making commercials, doing stuff like Jeff Gordon has done, Jimmy Johnson has done, maybe doing something with Dunkin' Donuts?
We made one commercial 3 years ago, and I wouldn't mind doing it. I'm not camera shy, and it's just a matter of if they want to do it. I'd be glad to do it. With the support they give me, I basically am, an employee of their company and an ambassador to their product. So we do what we got to do.
Do you mean with his daughter?
With whatever. I mean,
I
you
thought
saw the
maybe-
Jimmy Johnson one, right? With the masseuse and everything. Did you ever see that one, Mark?
No, I missed that one.
Oh man, you've got to watch that one. It's the show where they have an earbud in your ear and they tell you what to say. And
Oh yeah, that's funny. That's hilarious. Some of them shows, they get them guys into a corner, and you can tell they don't want to be saying what they're saying.
But you have to go on YouTube and find this one and watch it, because it's pretty good. It's the first time I've seen Jimmy actually get into where he's having a little fun with a commercial. I mean,
That's cool.
so far Jeff Gordon's had, I think, the most fun ones, scaring the crap out of somebody.
That's one of my favorites ever.
Yeah. But anywho, so you working on the car tonight? Or you getting ready to go home and do catch up?
Well, actually, I'm getting the evil eye right now because I'm standing outside a restaurant. My
Oh,
family's looking at me like, how long are you going to be on the phone?
all right. In that case, let's get you off the damn phone. Jeez.
Well, I appreciate you having me on here and look forward to the next time I'm worth talking to.
Yeah, we'll have to drag your butt in here and sit you down in the chair. That way, nobody can get in trouble then. Maybe.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you later, Mark.
Thank you.
Give the wife a squeeze so I'm not in trouble.
All right.
Bye.
See you, bye.
For interrupting his dinner.
Oh, I tell you what. Well, see, a lot of times when you schedule stuff with the people, you never know what you're going to interrupt. We had an interview one time with Kenny Wallace, and we're sitting here. Where the hell is he at? You know, why ain't he called in? And I texted him a message, and still didn't hear from him. Texted him another message, and then all of a sudden he calls up. And he says, "Oh my God, I forgot I had this." And we're sitting here at a Chinese restaurant, and just ordered. He says, "I'll try to do this as quick as we can." And believe it or not, we were trying to get him off in 10 or 15 minutes. And he stayed on for almost a half hour.
Wow.
So, but some of the people, you get to talking with them, and the conversation gets to be lively and fun, which is our main goal here.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you can't get rid of them. This show has had times where it's run 3 hours.
Oh my goodness.
We've had stuff, we've gone out to, like one time we went out to the NASCAR Sports Grill. We had a show out there, and we had a lot of local old timers, for lack of easier thing. We had young guys, middle guys, and we had some old timers out there. And when you got the old timers on there, if you got away with a half hour with that one person, you were lucky. But I mean, it's a lot of good stories. I mean, just like NASCAR, when they had the old timer series, they had like 6 VHS tapes, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they just went on and on with the stories. They're not the only ones with stories.
That's right.
I mean,
It's fun to hear those stories.
oh
Yeah.
God, sometimes you start laughing, you think you're gonna puke, you laugh so hard. And it's pure fun to be able to do that. And then when we're doing this and able to either do it live or they get to watch it on YouTube later, then they get to enjoy the fun.
Great.
Is that what it is for you?
Lots of fun.
So how'd you enjoy your first show being live?
Great. Are we still live?
Yes.
Oh, I want to say hi to all my MDR Motorsports friends. I want to finally admit that it's me.
See that little picture up there? That's you over there.
Yeah, I don't want to look.
Oh.
But this was a lot of fun. Thank you for inviting me
No problem. I'm glad you
to
enjoyed
co-host. This was very interesting.
it. Yep. And of course,
It's always fun to talk racing.
also, you forgot to talk about with Joey Gase. Joey Gase.
Gase.
Gosh, he kicked my ass.
Speaking of MDR Motorsports, CorvetteParts.net, one of our partners, provided some passes over the weekend, and our winners, and we also got to go along to meet Joey Gase and the number 32 team and the Donate Life car. Great cause.
From Go Green Racing.
Go Green Racing, yes. Let's
With Archie
mention
Saint.
everybody.
With Archie Saint Hilaire, the
Yes.
owner.
And his son Mason is the team manager. But we had a great weekend at Richmond, and thank you to CorvetteParts.net.
Yeah.
Visit their site when you get a chance. There's my commercial. There's my little commercial, but they're a terrific company.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because you got a lot of small sponsors out there. You know, you see all the big names, but you don't always get to know the little names in the background. It's like the guys on the pit crews.
Mm-hmm.
They're the guys that are doing the work to keep that car running fast, and they're like the unsung heroes.
They're the real stars, really.
And that's like
without them, nothing happens.
same with the sponsors. You got the small sponsors. The small sponsors add up, and that's what it is. I mean, Joey's doing a thing in Iowa where you can honor somebody. And I'll have to remember to put it out there somewhere so people can get to it. But
Is it related to Donate Life?
hang on a second. Where's my glasses? There they are. Top of my head. Oh, what did he tell me? Oh, geez, now I gotta figure out if it's on Messenger or Messages. But he sent me a whole bunch of stuff about this. Do it the easy way.
Just a moment, everyone. Oh. Joey Gase, great kid. Very cordial to all of us as his guests. We had a great Richmond weekend,
All right.
in spite of the rain.
They're doing donations to honor someone to put a company's logo on the car. Options are $25 donation. That's the honoree's full name on the trunk of the car. You can email the name of your honoree to jgase5@yahoo.com, which is jgase5@yahoo.com. And you can send the donation to Joey Gase Motorsports. It's in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and you can look it up online for that. But if you want, it's 3719 Hawk Avenue Southwest. $100 donation will do all the above, plus a 2x4 picture on the trunk lid. And you need to email the photo and the name, and send it to the same place. Then there's a $500 donation. It's all the above, and a 4.5 by 6.5 picture on the trunk, and enter a chance to win 2 pit passes to a race of your choice. And once again, you send the donation to the same place.
And the donation, though, is this to just support his racing, or is it for an organization?
Since it's a donation, I think it's supporting an organization. He only sent me the meat of it, which is how much it was and where to send it to.
Well, he's got a Facebook page.
He has a Facebook page.
So it's probably going to be on there.
Yep, there's a couple of them on there. It's probably also on his Twitter page and LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever you can find Joey.
Great.
Nice young kid. He does, I personally think, and I hate to say this, there's a lot of teams out there that you get to race in, and it's nice you get your foot in the door and you're racing in these teams. But I want to find him some more sponsor money so he can get a better car, better stuff to race in, so he can show off his talent.
Mm-hmm.
And if everybody could race in a Joe Gibbs car or a Hendricks car.
And see what they would do.
Can you imagine if all 43 teams ran Hendricks cars?
It could come to that eventually.
Well, my thing is, I keep saying, let's make all of them Craig Motors. Craig Motors. Do you realize how much money that would save?
You think Hendrick's going to be so thrilled to
Well,
lose their their engine department?
I mean, you got different companies already out there making the engines. There's not that many. So if you're going to run a Chevy, get the Craig motor from them. And they have to meet certain specs. And NASCAR gets one that's been screwed around with, well, either the team's going to get pinged or Hendricks might get pinged.
There aren't really too many companies doing engine building though now, are there?
Well, let's see.
Ford.
Well, the guys that built Carl Long's engine, who was that? That was it Bill Elliott's brother or something like that? No, who was it?
Bernie? It might be.
Yeah. When he had that engine at Daytona, that cost him $250,000, even though it blew up. That's really bad. But yeah, they build them. RCR builds them. All the big guys. Roush Fenway's going to have a place to build it. Yates engines.
I didn't realize Ganassi, they had a partnership with Childress before, didn't they, for engines? Now they get theirs from Hendrick. I did not realize that till this weekend. And talking to one of the Ganassi team,
There's
I missed that.
a lot of stuff shifting around. Who's going to give me a better chance to win? That's why you got more car engineers working on the car itself, trying to make the car better, make it reaction quicker or slower for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it all adds up.
Well,
But the thing is, you take one big, large chunk of money out of that. If you take away the R&D on the engines, it's a whole big cost savings. The engines are now the same. Oh,
mhm.
dude, here's another thing, and I will tell you, Joni Machek and I talked about this for about a half hour one day. About doing crate engines. He thought it was a great idea, and I said, now here's another thing that from out of the past, and there's still tracks that do it. Put in claimer rules. Do you know what claimer rules are?
Do you mean like with horses?
Yeah,
Where
basically, yeah.
If you say, you know, this car's available at the end of the race, somebody could claim it.
Yep. If you finish behind them, there's a set figure.
Mhm.
The
I never
money
heard
out-
it with cars, but I heard with horses.
look it up on some of the tracks, some of the modified tracks, there are different tracks out there that still do have that as an option.
So
That
you
way,
just set your price, and
Yeah.
if somebody claims it, then you get the money for the price
you get the
set,
money, they get your car.
and you're out of a car.
But the thing is see now
Never heard of that.
here's where it polices itself, because now if somebody can come along and take your car for $5,000, you're not going to put $50,000 into that car to win a race. Especially if you're only
True.
going to make $2,000 to win the race
Yeah.
and get $5,000 if he claims it. So now you're starting to say, okay, let's figure out how we can budget this down. We're going to have a crate engine, which will cost us $2,500, and then, well, some places they do claimers on engines, and some places do claimers on cars.
Never heard that.
Look it up. You'd be surprised. I mean, it's self-policing. That way somebody's not going to spend a Hendrix level amount of work into a car as opposed to a Morgan Shepherd
Mm-hmm.
level,
Would make it more fair.
even
Yeah.
across the board. Because people don't want to lose all that money they put into it. It's nice that, hey, we won the race. All right, yeah.
So you try
yeah.
to do the most you can with
With
the
least
limited
amount,
resources.
with the least amount of money.
Interesting.
If you did that in Cup and Xfinity and trucks, can you imagine how much money would be saved? If you had a claiming rule of, let's say, $50,000 for a Cup car, what would happen? You know, it's something to think about. Food for thought.
Interesting concept. Yeah. I think
You're just saying
try
that
it.
so we get out of here,
We should
right?
try it.
All right. We had fun.
This
Talking
was
with-
fun.
Talking with the guys, giving out some ideas and theories and
I learned
What-
a lot of new things tonight.
what bounces off your head. Hopefully the people watching did too.
Hopefully.
Anyway,
Well, thank you for letting me do this.
and we'll catch everybody else next week on Let's Talk Racing.
Good
See
night.
ya!